Please go to the diary room.
Every single season and learn everything that there is to know about everybody.
Please make your way to the diary room.
Celebrity, Brandon. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Diary Room, a Big Brother podcast where we're trying to find the best player in North American Big Brother history. And in round one here, including this episode, 6 episodes left as we cut that field in half. 36 players left. And the best player in Big Brother history could be in these next 6 episodes. And we just haven't talked about them yet, even though we're really deep into this podcast. But we'll find that out in due time. Of course, I am Matt, first here with Aman. Aman, what's up?
Hey, glad to be back as per usual. Back to talk more Big Brother, getting down to the wire, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Microphone still bright and glowing there. As
It
this
is
new microphone,
a brand new mic that I brought with me into the new year.
Yes,
I
and
love it.
we don't talk about the old one and its whereabouts. Anyway, also back with us in the new year, someone who has already been with us on the podcast before, back for one more time before we close out the round from Big Brother Canada Season 12. It is Goose. Goose, what's up?
Hey, happy to be here. Love talking about Big Brother. It's always great to do a little trip down memory lane.
And Goose, I know I said this last time, but appreciate that you generally keep up with what we have going on around here, just in case anyone's like doubting your fandom of Big Brother alongside having been on the show. So it's always fun to get your thoughts on matchups as they come up, mostly pertaining to your season.
Right. Well, yeah, it's funny because like I don't really listen to podcasts or watch podcasts at all. The few exceptions are usually reality TV related, but yeah, just something about the premise. It's just so fun, and it like gets you remembering. Oh yeah, like I remember that person I forgot about. So yeah, it's just always a fun watch, and yeah, just really enjoy it.
We're doing something right.
Yes. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that that even for some Big Brother alumni, that this podcast can be a nice little companion as you watch the series for the first time, rewatch the series. It's great. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to add, in case I forget, I want to say I really appreciate how you two like really like appreciate Big Brother Canada, because I feel like a lot of people they like talk about Big Brother, they kind of like kick us to the curb a bit. So I really appreciate that. And also I want to say I loved you had an episode, I think it was when Rachel got pulled. Aman said something like Big Brother is hard to begin with, but people don't realize how hard it is to play with people you don't know how to play Big Brother. And I love that.
Yes. I can't like state and stress that enough. Like, and this is coming from someone who has never played, but just based off of the testimonies of people that have played, that's what I walk away with. And yes, of course, Big Brother Canada strong over here, man. Like we're always gonna go up for Big Brother Canada. The fact that there are still so many people that unfortunately now have a hard time even trying to get over to Big Brother Canada now. It sucks, but like again, there are links. There are ways for you to watch. I can't say them publicly.
They're just hard. They're really hard. And the problem is, I think, if we ended, not to say that if we ended on Big Brother Canada 10, that'd be a good thing. Then we wouldn't be talking to you. You wouldn't have had the chance to go in the house, and this this wouldn't be happening here. But if we ended on Big Brother Canada 10 before they decided to get rid of feeds, I think people would be ending on a much more positive view of the series as a whole. We still got, in my opinion, at least one more good season in, and that is yours. I'm on record as a big fan. There's the laugh. I'm on record as obviously being a big fan of BBCAN12, not so much 11, but that's just the sour note that the series went out on that really doesn't have people cheering in the streets about BBCAN all these years later. And with it being such a, it's been now, this is the second calendar year without Big Brother Canada in the lineup. So it's going to be hard for us to keep the spirit alive, but we're doing it.
Especially unfortunate because I feel like, when it comes to like spin-off series or international series for whatever show you're watching, sometimes it can tend to be a little like meh because they're trying to find their own identity, and sometimes it can just end up being a carbon copy of the original. But I feel like with Big Brother Canada, they really from season 1, it had its own unique flair, its own flavor, its own just feeling to it. That is just so like you just can't really get anywhere else, and I feel like it tops some of the other international versions, like bar none. So yeah, I just think that Big Brother Canada has always been just it's its own special thing.
Not too dissimilar for me for like, you know, Survivor US versus Survivor Australia. Just when people discover Survivor Australia, it's like that's another really good product. That's to say it's Survivor, and they do a lot of things differently. They do a lot of things the same. Even still to this day, you know, here in the US, it's down to 26 days. That's not the case in Survivor Australia. So just both versions of the show have things that people hold on to very dearly. And with Big Brother
still
US,
think it's a little too long. I tried to get in Australia. It's like 30 episodes. I was like, what?
That's the thing. It's like just both versions of both Big Brother and Survivor. It's like there are certain things that people really like about each franchise and some things that people don't like. But like it's good to have both. It's good to have both as options to watch. And so
I think too it's a shame because like now that the US is like full in on the blockbuster, like it would have been nice to have Big Brother Canada too, so you can kind of like check out this new thing, but also like the more traditional like 2 people nominated. It would have been nice to kind of have both. But yeah, what to do. And
like overall, like beyond anything else, I miss Arissa so much.
Me too.
Yeah, she's a gem. I love Arissa.
It's just like unbelievable that again, the second calendar year now, not just without Big Brother Canada, because like sorry to, you know, anybody that wanted to play Big Brother Canada and has not yet been able to, but at least once a year we still get a product of Big Brother.
Yeah,
it's not with the right host. It is certainly not. It's not with Arissa. And I am sure that in due time she will be back on our screens doing something fun, but it's not been yet, and I miss her a lot. So
me too. I'm still holding out hope, you know, like you know, there's only so much that Canada has up there. I feel like to take away the Big Brother is like you're taking such a huge chunk out of original Canadian content. And I just still have some high hopes that somebody will pick it up. Like if Traders can still go strong up there, there's no reason that Big Brother cannot. So somebody pick it up, please.
At some point it'll swing back around. Anyway, let's swing back around to Goose. Again, I was mentioning your cast, and it's been a little bit since you were last on. I almost feel like, because the storyline for this podcast in BBCAN12 was that like it took forever to come up, right? We couldn't get anyone to come up. I think it was Matthew that was the first one that came up. And since then we've had almost the entire cast. Right now, Tola is the last person that has not yet come up.
Wait, Todd came up already?
You haven't seen the episode yet.
Oh, he better have made it through or I'm gonna be ticked.
Want me to tell you?
Oh, flip. Yeah, tell me.
Todd went through.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Todd beat, if my memory serves me correctly, and I can double check, but I think Todd beat Liza from BBCAN1.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. Sense. That's fair. Yeah.
So,
I really like Liza, but Todd's my guy, and I think he played a great underrated game. So happy for him.
Yes. Well, Todd has gone through, and I'm double checking here on BBCAN12. Just the status update. Those that have not gone through from the season, the 4 people that left the house first: Janine, Donna, Dennis, and Vivek, as well as Avery and Lexus. Everybody else has gone through except Tola has not come up yet. Maybe today. So not bad overall.
Yeah, so like we're at least at 50%, right?
Just about. What's the exact number?
If Tola goes through, I think it'd be 8 out of 14.
Yeah, 7 to 6 right now. 54% have gone through. So,
which I think is averaging better than the other digital daily season in 11. I think, right?
It's actually,
to be fair, 11 has so many people who quit, so it's like they're just instant nopes, right? So.
It's actually it's percentage wise, it's currently 57% have gone through in BBCAN 11, 54 BBCAN 12. 11 still has 2 players left to pull, and this season has 1 player left to pull. We love math. But not doing terribly. Obviously, Goose is somebody that has gone through. Goose, I also know that you enjoyed the moment a couple episodes ago where our good friend Big Brother Boy said Goose, not funny. Realizing that was a player in Big Brother. If you don't watch the season, I would have had the same reaction.
Yeah.
Big Brother Boy, he's got to get in on the Canada. He has to.
Next thing you know, someone's going to be named Duck. I don't know.
It's funny, actually. I don't think it made the show at all, but like Donna said to me that like a nickname for that a bunch of friends would do. They'd call her like Duck or like Donna Duck or something, kind of like Donald. Duck,
like Donald Duck. That's funny.
Yeah. So when we were on the block together, it was like this week's the Battle of the Birds.
Yeah. I love that.
Goose's last episode, to bring it back here, the matchups were, just want to check in on how we're all feeling about them all this time later. It's March 4th was the date that this episode came out of 2025, so close to a year ago. Hayden Moss went through over Clay Honeycutt. Duh.
Nice, feel good about it.
Clay did not come back in the battle back, but he came close, got a lot of votes.
Yeah,
for
he got a lot of thirst votes, lots of thirst votes, for sure.
Probably why. And then we had, speaking of Big Brother Canada 11, Vanessa did not go through in favor of Big Brother 24's Brittany Hoops, who did go through. And we also had another BBCAN 11 player, Ty McDonald, went through over Bowie Jane Ball from Big Brother 25. So those weren't that controversial of matchups. We all voted the same in all of them. So
yeah,
maybe today we'll fight more.
I mean, this wheel is smaller. It's a lot smaller since Goose was here last. So the potential for some crazy matchups.
Can we get Tola today?
Yeah.
Well, I would be happy to have Tola come up today, but Goose, I will warn you, some big names are still here. Notably, as I look at the wheel,
Flip.
Dr. Will, Dane,
Tola, and
Ika Wong,
Gary.
There are big names here. So I'm terrified.
Mike
as to what
Boogie
could happen today.
We don't have
to worry about like Dan versus Will anymore, but like Will versus Ika by Will.
Yeah,
that'd be something.
Are we all ready for the first spin of the day?
Yep.
Do it. Let her rip. Just do it. Do it. Oh my God.
Where are we going first today?
So
here
much anxiety inducing the smaller
back on the podcast.
Yes.
We're starting strong.
Here we go, baby.
Starting with some glitter.
Gary Glitter. Nice.
Gary, Levy, Glitter Gary.
National treasure.
Player of the day. Truly. An icon. To anybody who does not watch Big Brother Canada, there are a lot of good moments in the gameplay that you should be aware of, but there's also equally as many big characters that you should be aware of. And it starts right away in season 1 with this man, Gary. So let's talk about him. Let me get him up on the screen. Amon's probably got some notes.
Yes, I do. Alrighty. Gary, throughout BBCAN 1, Gary formed close relationships with many of the female house guests, including Danielle, Suzette, and Topaz. Gary claimed to fight for the little people and always attempted to make big moves against other power players such as Tom and Liza. He later returned after his early jury eviction to make it to the final 2, after making another big move of evicting Emmett. He came in close second to Jillian, after Topaz infamously voted incorrectly. Gary later returned to BBCAN 5. Despite his efforts to play a low-tier social game, he found himself a target after trying to save Cassandra. With the announcement of Backwards Week in play, Gary found himself nominated by most of the House, specifically the Core 6 Alliance. While his ally Dimitri's promised to save Gary if ever he won HOH, Gary's poor social positioning in the House and other nominee Dre's stronger social connections led Dimitri to use his sole vote to evict Gary.
Goose, this is someone who in another universe won Big Brother. He is, if you want to, however you want to phrase it, a Big Brother winner. He's not, because Topaz did not vote correctly, but Topaz very clearly meant to vote for Gary to win. And that one vote, if you don't know the season, if you're just listening to us talk about Big Brother Canada players, if that's the case, I did a horrible job explaining what just happened. But that's what happened. Topaz meant to vote for Gary. He would have won if Topaz voted for Gary. She voted incorrectly. She didn't understand the assignment. Gary probably should have been a Big Brother winner, but as Amon laid out, it was after he returned to the House so late in the game. Goose, the point is, could have been a winner.
Yeah, they should have an asterisk next to the runner-up.
Yeah, they really should. Gary just lovely character, right? Just genuinely warm, funny, kind, a little snarky, underdog energy all the way through. I would say he definitely improved upon his return. I think that he had very low self-awareness, I think, in BBCAN 1. Social game was strong, but I think that his strategy was just like a bit reactive. He was kind of like, he would wait for things to happen and then like react emotionally. It was lovely to see him get a second chance because I think that we really got to see him really hunker down when he came back after getting evicted the first time, and he came this close to winning, even after getting evicted, and even with somebody like Emmett in the jury saying you should really only have one life in the Big Brother house, it's not fair that he came back. He was still about to win, but Topaz effed it up. And then when he comes back for BBCAN5, like self-awareness, very good, because he knows his reputation going in. His social game is even stronger, but it's cleaner. It's a little bit more reserved. I would say that he is definitely not as reactive as he was in BBCAN1, but I don't think that he was as... I think that he kind of was like a little bit more passive. I think it's because he was so gun shy, whereas there's other people in the house like Ika that are really like sinking their teeth into some of these newbies and collecting as many people as she can alongside Dimitri. And I think it's like one of the most heartbreaking evictions when like Ika tries her damnedest to try to save him, but she just can't make it happen because of like the blurb said his positioning. It was just too far gone at that point. And she couldn't even really say anything. She was just like, Gary, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just sorry. I don't know what else to say. Like, it was so sad. So sad.
After the remember the cookies thing?
And backwards week.
Backwards week.
Yeah, like he finds out that everyone fucking hates him in the house, like, and not actually, like nobody hated him, but like, what was it? Just that people know that he gives good big reactions, and so they wanted to get the big reaction out of him because they had this slop cookie twist where everybody put a slop cookie in the jar of, or they had like however many, 10 maybe to distribute however they wanted into everybody's jars, and so many people put their cookies into Gary's thing, which put him in the position to it wasn't to be on slop. I think that was to be on.
Okay, because it was backwards week. It was about have-nots, and everyone thought like the cookies were gonna make who is the have-not, but because it was backwards week, the people who had the least were have-nots. So like everyone put it into I think him and Cassandra, but then
so he was fine with that. Yeah, he was fine as far as the game goes. That didn't put him on the block. It was Dimitri's that put him on the block, or no, Dimitri's got to like in the way that backwards week worked. He cast the vote to evict between Gary and I think Dre. But like it was still that people voted. Everybody gave their 2 votes and said this is who I want on the block, and that's how the nominees were decided at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
Sorry, stumbled through that.
I'm confused. Was he evicted before? No, he was evicted after Cassandra, right?
Yes, Cassandra was evicted.
Yeah.
I think I'm confused because I thought she was there for like the cookies thing, but I guess she wouldn't have been.
No, she was gone.
The week he went, right? Yeah.
I think she was.
I guess it was him and somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, he was on the block against Dre in that week, who was a really tough spot to be in because Dimitri's is making the decision. Ika, obviously, like Aman was saying, had her claws sunk into Dre and William by association. That's who she was really holding on to for some numbers in that game. And Gary was a threat. Goose, do you remember watching him in season 1 though? I mean, before we get to season 5, that's the legacy.
Yeah, it was just like iconic. Like Gary literally is such a big character, and like really, it was really quickly. I remember my mom and I were just watching and rooting for him. Gary's great, and like I love that like he's such a big character, but also like he's not terrible at the game by any means. I'd say he's good at the game. Like Flip, he almost won. So it's great when someone's a big character and they have a game sense, you know? Because a lot of times I feel like some of the biggest characters, you're just like, oh, if only they were a good player too. And Gary was a good player and a good character. And yeah, it's obviously you always root for an underdog too, usually, right? So yeah, Gary was a fun ride. And like, that HOH where Gary got out Tom, wonderful HOH. Was it?
Yes.
He is a good player. He just can't hide. I mean, not just because he's a very tall man, but just because like he is such a big personality that you can never forget that he's in the house. He's a big threat, a big social player that you can't hide. Literally just impossible to. But the weeks that he gets good stuff done, and when you see those worthwhile moments of his gameplay, even in season 5, it wasn't all good. He wasn't in the best spot, but just right off the bat at the beginning, you see him like going to Cindy and talking about like, I want to work together. I want the 2 of us. And he's kind of like trying to find a sweet spot amongst the vets. He's got Kevin a little bit, and it just doesn't work out for him. But
yeah, I feel like he had the right idea. Like, I feel like in 5, he was really working on managing his threat level, but I think it went like horribly right where like, because he was like trying to minimize himself so much, then he didn't have the connections when he needed them. So it's really a fine line.
Yeah. And I think like not like being as like entrenched with the rest of the returnees, I think just really, and like him and Netta just going back and forth, it was just never going to be a good spot. But, you know, Ika and Dimitri, even though he goes out on Dimitri's HOH, they do get some vengeance for him later on in the season. So
Yeah,
There's
that twist
so
you
many
kind of
moments.
that twist kind of screwed him because if I remember correctly, like the way it was designed, he wasn't allowed to compete in the HOH competition. So like most of the times you can compete in HOH and POV, he only got POV.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Gary.
of Twitter Gary. A lot of good. I mean, what's the bad? Like, what's the downside to Gary? Again, like the fact that he can't hide as well.
Yeah.
But like, what if you were like picking him in a draft for a season that you know he's about to compete on? Like, what are you thinking is like the reason why you don't want to pick him?
I think he's almost like too genuine. Like I don't think he's really good at like faking it. Like I think like a lot of times people can tell like when he's not on their side.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Meta and him, like it was just so obvious right away that was gonna not work out. Like, and who knows? Maybe if he could have faked it better, maybe he would have had some longevity there.
Yeah, I think he's just a loud personality. I think it's just what it comes down to. He's very likable, but it's intense. It's intimidating. You always assume that somebody like him is going to win. And, you know, the reputation that he had going in was that, you know, oh, he was the underdog. He was the person that he should have won. He has such a good story coming into BBCAN5 that even amongst the rest of the vets, it's like you have so much going for you. It's his target is always going to be so big. I think the only way that he would have done any better than he did in BBCAN5 was if it was an entire cast of returnees as opposed to half and half.
Yeah, he would have had more room to hide for sure.
I just think back to like the first week of BBCAN1 where Anil is spreading glitter around the whole house to try to make it seem like it was Gary and get Gary in trouble. Like from the first moment, like he's enough of a worthwhile character that like you're paying attention to him, obviously.
I just love the running after he became a have-not. He's running to the bathroom and collapses. And Topaz even crying because he's crying.
You haven't
seen my entire life is Gourmet. He
my
says.
life is Gourmet.
If you haven't seen Big Canada, if you haven't seen Gary, if you haven't seen BBCAN1, just look up Gary gets put on slop BBCAN1 and just do yourself a favor and watch that.
That was so funny.
Amongst the many clips that you could watch of Gary. So a very obvious pick for him to have come back in BBCAN5. If, you know, Big Brother Canada is back on the air and is back doing any All-Stars, he'll get the call. How has he not been on Traders? What is he?
Yeah, you know, good point.
Are they not calling?
I think he'd be great on Traders. Yeah.
Who
knows?
He'll be
maybe next season. One can dream.
I am terrified, but I'm scared.
Yeah, not Tola.
I'm so scared. Up next today is
Flip. Oh, did it freeze?
Oh,
it
froze
for me. Oh, wait.
The last player here from Big Brother 26. Goose, you're the BB26 ender here today. Brooklyn Rivera.
Brooklyn.
I mean, I feel like considering she's a pre-juror, she's pretty strong, but I don't think it bodes well for her being up against Gary DeLitter.
Hey, Gary's a pre-juror one season.
That's true. We'll see.
Brooklyn. What a story in Big Brother 26. She could have had it all.
Well said.
But, you know, this guy named Tucker said, nope. Sorry. BB26 about to end its run here. Amon, we have notes on Brooklyn?
We do. All right. Brooklyn. After being brought into the Pentagon and the collective, Brooklyn found herself in a comfortable position. Although she appeared to be in danger after Angela won the week 4 HOH with the intent on targeting her, she was spared after ally Quinn activated the deepfake HOH advantage and nominated Tucker, Mackenzie, and Cedric. Brooklyn's ally Cedric was blindsided by a 6-3 vote after Chemo and T-Core flipped on the collective. Things went from bad to worse after Tucker won the following HOH. Despite being included in an alliance with Tucker and his allies called 5 points the week prior, Tucker nominated Brooklyn alongside her allies Cam and Quinn, with Brooklyn as the target since Tucker billed her as the head of the snake in the remnants of the Pentagon. She would lose the veto and AI arena, sealing her fate as she was evicted in an 8-1 vote against Cam, with only her closest ally Chelsea voting to keep her.
I have this moment generally most seasons where like a couple weeks in, call it like 3 or 4 weeks in, and you start to really see the game board and you can really start to tell like who the contenders are to win the game. You're like, okay, this person's not being thought of and they're probably going to continue playing really well, really under the radar. And really often it's somebody that does go far, whether or not they win. And for me, that was certainly Brooklyn, right? I think for a lot of us, we were watching as we got into like week 3, week 4, and the Pentagon was doing so well. Her group before, Cedric goes out, but even kind of after Cedric goes out, you're like, they still kind of have this on lock. Brooklyn and Chelsea, but mostly Brooklyn just felt like she was in a really good spot. But Goose, then it was all taken away just in one quick HOH, and everything crumbled from underneath her, and she's out.
Yeah, it was so sudden. Like, she was definitely, like you said, she was a front runner, but then sometimes just the wrong person's win HOH. And like, I feel, if I remember correctly, I'd say, like, if I were to point out a definite weakness, the way I remember it is she didn't really handle the adversity very well. Like, I feel like a lot of people were talking about, like, Chelsea's handling this really well while Brooklyn isn't. Does that ring true?
Yes.
I feel like that's what was going on.
Yeah. Just while they were on the block, Chelsea was doing her thing as she did the entire season, staying calm, having good conversations with people that she knew were going to be voters that week. And Brooklyn was kind of losing it a little bit. She was getting a little bit into the desperation mode. And because the third person on the block was Cam. Chelsea, right? I think won that competition to come off the block, the AI
So
Arena,
Brooklyn
and I
and
think it was
Cam
Cam versus Brooklyn, I think. So she did spiral a little bit, that one aspect of the game that's pretty crucial when you're on the block, staying calm and getting the votes. While she was doing a lot of other things right, that wasn't being done right, and Chelsea was doing it a lot better. So
I think that she kind of like waited till the end a little bit too much to really like ramp it up. Saying like, I am someone that is going to be trustworthy and loyal to the people that I have been loyal to. I will go after people like Tucker. I will go after the people that are coming for you. They're the people that are like the big bad scary wolves in this game. And it's like, okay, well, it's probably not great to say during the eviction when many of those people that you're calling out or alluding to have votes and you're sitting on the block. But I think the way that she set herself up initially was great. She had Pentagon, she had the collective, she was sort of like not oversharing too much with people, being a little reserved. Her and Chelsea really were like each other's rocks in the beginning until Chelsea kind of had to switch gears and go over to Mackenzie, but they were going back and forth. I think they were both people that, were kind of religious. Or was that Chelsea and Mackenzie? Or was it all three of them? I think it was all three of them, right? All three of them, I think, bonded over religion a bit. And so I think that was like a nice foundation, and it was like a place that you can really trust. And I think that's why they were so good at like having a little bit of a vice grip at the beginning. But yeah, I mean, you throw somebody like Tucker in there, who's a bombastic personality, who's going to get tunnel vision and see you as the main reason as to why he was blindsided the week prior. It was just like, it was never going to go well for you. Because even if she would have stayed, she openly claimed that she was going to come for him next. You think that Tucker's not going to try his damnedest to win that HOH or that veto? Like, it was about to be a war between the two of them, which would have been fun to watch. So
it was. They Angela and Tucker had her number, and Tucker got the HOH and called that number and said, it's time. Face the music, face the fire. Let's do this. She was the married mother, right? That was the preseason for her. She was like, she wanted to be the first married mother to win or to do well. Or
yes, the married mothers. That was the demographic, the underrepresented demographic of Big Brother.
and then her story as she left for the casuals, for the wider public, became the charcuterie board.
That was funny.
I almost said cinnamon rolls. That's not what it was. Charcuterie board that Angela was eating hers from her HOH. Not HOH. When did she get a charcuterie board? Was she HOH?
From what I recall, it was Angela got it for her HOH.
And Brooklyn
and then
I think she got it. Yes, I think she got it when she was
Brooklyn
in HOH. And then she became a have-not the following week. She hadn't finished it all.
Right.
And Brooklyn was like, oh, there's all this leftover cheeses and meats. Let's, know.
And they were like running with that after the season. They were making TikToks, like joking about it or whatever. So again, that kind of just became a little bit of Brooklyn's legacy. But it is just crazy to think about what could have been her legacy if not for, that one HOH not going her way. She would have been in the end game, I think, and very likely could have won. I don't know. Chelsea obviously proved to be the stronger player, not just in that week, but in the whole game, just that she showed so much that she could do. So she might not have beat Chelsea in the end. It would have been fun though to see the war between Chelsea and Brooklyn eventually break out if one of them realized that they had to turn on the other because they were both so strong.
Mhm.
So we have Gary, who could have been a Big Brother winner if not for one vote, and Brooklyn, who could have been a Big Brother winner if not for Tucker winning HOH. And we have to pick one of them to go through to the next round. It's a very interesting matchup. Goose, but you sounded like you knew what your answer was the second that we pulled Brooklyn.
Yeah, like I go with my gut instinct, but I'm like, I keep an open mind though. You made some good points about Brooklyn. Now I'm wondering, like, if she came back, like how well could she do? Because like I feel like if it would be whenever it's people who played multiple times, I'm like, oh, I wish they were against someone else who played multiple times because it's easier to compare.
Yeah,
because that's the thing too. Like, there's a lot of people you like don't think too much of, but then like if they come back, like they prove otherwise. And in her case, like I think she did a pretty good job considering. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I think, oh yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I feel like Gary. Like the one thing I mentioned was like the weakness. She didn't do well with adversity. I feel like Gary did do well with adversity. I mean, except when Slop was involved, then that was another story.
he eats gourmet. What do you want?
Yeah, and I mean, if competition game, he's got the comp wins. Social. She might even be better socially than him, but his social game isn't bad, especially season 1. I thought his social game was pretty good. Strategically, that's a tough. Who do you think's the better strategic player of the two?
Probably Brooklyn.
Probably right.
Yeah,
but I think the social goes to Gary for sure, because Gary was able to make connections with almost everybody, even when it wasn't like the perfect relationship. Brooklyn's connections were doing well, but I think they just came across kind of clearly fake to a lot of people, especially your Tuckers and Angelas, who like were then very aware of how hard she was trying to connect with them,
also,
but it wasn't genuine.
When you have like linchpin people that are crossing over into other alliances, like somebody like Quinn, it's like there's so many like overlapping things, like in conversations that they're being left out of, information leaking, Tucker really being in everybody's ear about how untrustworthy you are. It really does make you feel like, oh well, like if she is this well insulated and I'm not even aware of some of the other things that she has going on, then is she actually with me? So I think that Tucker and Angela really just did a good job of like making her be the untrustworthy one. And T-Core and
Chemo
T-Core and Chemo, deciding that this was the time to jump ship, which is debatable to the cows come home. I think that was just it was just a really bad storm for her that week.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna vote on? Oh, sorry, Goose, you have something else?
Oh no, I think I'm good. Yeah.
You officially landed on Gary, right, Goose?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm voting for Gary. Yeah, okay. I feel like she is pretty strong, but at the end of the day, I feel like, I mean, 1, Gary's just such an icon. 2, I feel like he's he's a good player. Like I think he definitely beats her socially and competition wise, and I think he handles adversity better. And that's the thing. Like if things are always going your way, Big Brother, it's still difficult, but it's not that difficult. So like without the data to see her actually overcome adversity, it's hard to give her the vote.
Aman.
I do think that Brooklyn had a stronger first showing, which is crazy because Gary made it to the final 2 and should have won his season during his first showing, right? But I think that Brooklyn entered the game with a bit more game sense than Gary did. So in that regard, I think that Brooklyn is a bit stronger, but Gary has the charisma. Gary has all of, he's just a fun character to watch. And it can't be understated that he should have won BBCAN1. So it's like when you're weighing an almost winner or should be winner versus someone that, like you said, Matt, could potentially have won, but cut too short, I got to go with Gary as well. Yeah.
I mean, the counter, of course, to that he should have won is that he got a battle back to get back into the game. Granted, many people have gotten back in the game before and could have had the same opportunity to get to the end and win, but Gary is the one who did it the closest.
Well, except for Jag.
Yeah. Good call. Very good call. I guess there's also like Kelsey in BBCAN4, but she doesn't come close to winning. She just gets to the end. No, obviously Jag is right there, but I forgot. So I mean, I'm going to vote for Gary as well. There's I think a lot of like if you really broke this down category by category, I think there is 1 or 2 categories that you could say that Brooklyn beats him in, but I think that there's almost just as many that I would put him over her. I was talking about the big threat that Gary comes into the game as just based on who he is. And I don't want to take that away. Like, I don't want to give it like take points away from him just because he comes into the game as himself, as like an entertaining character that's larger than life. Like that shouldn't be the way that like that's the way that Big Brother works. That again, if you stand out so much, people are going to have a hard time ignoring you. But he was being himself, and that is something that I would like to reward, especially in a moment like this where I'm going to vote for him regardless here. I just think that he is a better player, a better character, more important to the franchise, just all of the above. It's going to be Gary. There's also patron votes here, multiple, one for both.
Wow.
It's going to happen as we get down to it here. People have been picking their votes a little later into the process. So people left with votes.
Sorry to the person who voted for Brooklyn. Sorry. It's a tough matchup for her. I think she could have fared better against some of these other people on this wheel.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there's definitely people she could beat. Like I wouldn't say she's a bad player.
No,
certainly not. No. Jimmy had the vote for Gary and now has had both of his patron votes go through. The other one he had was Bruno. But Tommy had Brooklyn, a vote on Brooklyn. Obviously that did not work out. But he had Johnny Mulder from BBCAN12's, and Johnny did go through. So, 50-50, better than nothing, I would think. All right. Let's get back to the wheel. Also, for the stats people out there, BB26 comes to an end on the wheel here with 10 players having gone through and 6 having not.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. 26.
Not bad at all. And we'll see. Maybe Brooklyn will get voted back in. Who knows? All right.
You never know.
Third player of the day here today. Who's it going to be? That one was crazy.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Big Brother Canada. Season 10. Summer sales.
Summer. Wait, does this end BBCAN 10?
I think it does.
Wow.
Oh, we're ending seasons today.
Is the season killer.
BBCAN 10, currently 9 players have gone through, 6 have not. Let's see which side of that summer is going to come down on with another season in the books.
All right. Ready for notes?
It is winter, so this is not a good sign.
Hardy har.
Thank you.
All right. Summer started the game a part of the majority Savage 7, the Honey Bunch, and the Mandams before those alliances blew up. Summer had strong alliances with Betty and Tanisha and friendships with Gino, JC Lynn, Josh, and Herman. Summer was known for manipulating several house guests, having orchestrated the blind side of Stephanie and convincing Gino to backdoor his ally Kyle. The house guests began to notice how influential she was and decided to target her. In the triple eviction, Summer was blindsided when her ally Josh nominated her as a pawn next to Marty and JC Lynn. After failing to win the POV, Summer was left on the block, evicted with no one voting to save her.
I'll never forget meeting Summer through the cast bios. And her intro was like, oh, I only auditioned to be on Big Brother because I have a coworker who likes Big Brother or something like that. And I wanted to get on to make that. She didn't like the coworker and she wanted to make the coworker have to watch her on Big Brother. Goose, she's a pretty big character for her time on the season. Obviously not as much in the game per se. She had a lot of people that she was working with, that she had good relationships with. But when she goes out in that triple eviction, it's just kind of like a quiet, not necessarily a quiet exit. But I guess the game doesn't really change a whole lot with her off the board.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of an interesting player because I feel like she definitely had her high highs, but then I feel like she had her low lows. And I feel like too, as the game went further on, I think she kind of realized her spot was pretty good, so she stopped like putting on the gas. But then it got to the point where it's like, no, you got to put the gas back on, and I think she just adjusted too late. Because sometimes less is more, and I think too, like I know she strategically threw comp wins, and I think that really worked for her for a while. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, she just had some trouble about like when to go and when to stop. Yeah. Yeah. By the end, it really seemed like her coup de grace moment is getting Gino to put up Kyle. That was like a very excellent bit of gameplay on her part. But then after that, like I remember she was like doing stuff, but I can't really think of a specific thing after that.
She was not on Kevin's side. She was on the She was one of the few people in the house that wasn't directly working with Kevin and thus wasn't being controlled by Kevin, which didn't put you in a good spot to go far into the game because the people that Kevin did have, he was bringing to the end with him and thus getting his win. Yeah, she was doing her own thing. Obviously, a lot of that was with Gino.
Yeah, I think that's the part that is that's her weakness, is that there were so many fractured alliances that she really just became an individual player. Everything crumbled, right? So, but I think her not winning competitions was both a blessing and a curse, because it helped her manage her threat level, especially when she would approach the game and approach game talks with such a transparent attitude that can be disarming to people, but also you lay all of your cards out on the table. So not winning comps, I think, was a nice balance to that. But then when you get to the end game and you have somebody like Kevin, who, like you just said, Matt, like knows that you're not necessarily working with him, and if you're not working with Kevin, or if you're not like in Kevin's web, then there's no need for you to be there. So she just became super isolated at that point and just an easy target, especially during such a high speed week like the triple eviction. That's the time when you pounce and you get them out, because any other week she might have been able to talk her way out of it, but this time it was just, you got to strike while it's hot.
It's funny because like I feel like everyone's gut instinct is like, oh, if like a big fast twist is gonna happen, like a big player's gonna go up. It's usually just someone who is just on the outs, just ends up going because it's easy and it's so quick they can't really save themselves.
I mean, I don't think she's too dissimilar from someone who could come up with the very next spin, like a Willow, where it's like they had connections, and they go out in the same spot in the triple eviction, had some connections, had friendships, had people that had their back to an extent, but you really have to have deep connections or be able to win a veto if you want to get through a triple eviction. And that's in Big Brother Canada. That's just the nature of that beast. And unfortunately,
I feel like Summer, she was doing like really well until she wasn't, which many such cases. Come to think of it, so it's sorry, you go.
I was just gonna say, when she loses Tanisha, I think is like the big moment that's like the big hit to her game. Not that I really saw them like running the game all the way to the end, but that was like a big loyal number for her.
Yeah, that definitely didn't help her at all. I think it said there that she went 6 and she was nominated twice. The way I remember was she was on the block like kind of back to back. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm wondering, was she the last person on the season like to be nominated who hadn't been? Because Kevin was nominated before her, Betty before her. Was Dino nominated before? Yeah, he would have been. Yeah. JC Lynn, yeah. Am I forgetting him? Josh? No, Helena was the last one to be nominated.
I just saw Helena's name as far as it doesn't seem like she was on the block prior. I don't think. Yeah. Helena did a really good job staying off the block that season.
Yeah. So I guess Summer was second last to be nominated. Okay.
Yeah, she was doing pretty well for herself. It's just triple eviction.
Yeah,
twists get you. They get you.
Triple eviction, and Kevin and Helena. It all goes back to Kevin. Kevin and Helena really, they made that trio alliance with Josh and started telling Josh over and over and over again that Summer's a jury threat. She's a jury threat. She's gonna win. She's gonna win. She's gonna win. Like, look, she hasn't been on the block yet. Get her out of here. Like, it was just, there was nothing that she could do about it. And she felt so pissed because she was like, like Betty, she thought she had something good with Josh, but Josh is out here doing Kevin's dirty work as per usual. So,
Yeah. But look, everybody on BBCAN10 contributed to it being such a widely regarded good season. So I think Summer fits into that category just well enough. But a lot of big players left here still. So
I could see it going either ways. Like, I think she's a good player, probably underrated, but there's some really big names where it's like, dang, we'll see how it goes. Flip.
Well.
Oh, dang, she almost got Ramsey.
Well.
I'll flip.
Well.
Big Brother Canada 7 winner, Dane Rupert. Boneham. Just kidding. Dane Rupert.
Oh, flip.
Well, Dane.
Yeah.
One of 4 winners left to come up. Now it's just Will, Boogie, Cody. It's just 3 left. It's just 3 left.
Really? I thought there was wait. Oh, because we pulled.
Misha has come up now.
Yes, that's what it was. All right.
Wow. Those are some scary winners, just as Dane is. So never was going to feel good about whoever came up against Dane. But we'll see. Let's talk it out. Dane just happens to be a really good winner of the television show Big Brother Canada. We have notes.
We do. All right. Dane, not only was he part of the dominant Pretty Boys Alliance, but was also a huge comp threat, winning 5 HOHs and 2 POVs, saving himself with Anthony at the final 5, while on the block against Mark is one of the most spoken about moves from the season. He aligned himself with Esty, Damien, Kiera, and others along the way, in addition to the Pretty Boys, which kept him in arguably the best spot all season long.
It's definitely the final 5 moment that like cements him as like a top tier player winner ultimately. But it really is the entire season of this dominant alliance, the Pretty Boys, where him and Anthony and, for the most part, Adam are like really just running the show. Mark is there too. But when you narrow the field down and Dane and Anthony are sticking together and they take Adam out, you're really looking at those 2 players as like these top tier players of the season. Anthony, of course, is going to come back, and Goose is very familiar with how that went. But for Dane, he got the win and didn't need to get that next call because it was unanimous, right? Anthony didn't get a vote. Famously, Goose is Anthony's vote. So Goose, what do you have on Dane?
I guess I'll just start off and say that, like, I think I remember when I was watching, I was like, if I was on the jury, I think I'd vote for Dougie, which is kind of funny because I did later. But that being said, it's like there was a very strong argument for Dane to win too. Like Dougie's such a great player. Dane was right up there with them. Like he was very well-rounded. He had the comp wins. He had the social. Like, it's crazy that in the second week, he like publicly goes against his word and gets rid of Mackie. And it seemed like nobody was pissed off at him. It seemed like everyone was like, they just forgot it like overnight. And like, that's clearly a lot of skill on his part. And I feel like he was in control of the season. He dominated, like him and Adam and Dougie. And I think too, like if you put him on like as like either he came back or like in an alternate universe, he's on another season. Like, I think even without like such a strong alliance with so many strong players, I think he has the chops to like still do well. Maybe he doesn't win, but like he definitely does well. And I think he has a really goofy personality that like kind of makes people underestimate him. But like we saw so many instances of him being really clever. Like he had the brains and the brawn. So definitely a great player. Definitely like in the top like 5 Big Brother Canada players. I think most people would agree.
I think he, for me, is a pretty clear number 1 as far as BBCAN winners is concerned. I think he's the best winner of BBCAN. And I haven't made a list in a while of like top winners overall, but he would be top 10 for sure. I could see him being as high as top 5. I walked away very impressed with his game. Aman, can you take a tooth out before you start talking about Dane?
Yeah, he I mean, as boring as the season was, I think that he was definitely a highlight for me, at least. Yeah, definitely. I think you're probably correct in that he's the best winner, just because he really had everything going for him. He had the comps, he had the social game, he had the core alliance that was controlling everything, and then he proved that he had the chops for this game when he was able to convince Anthony to keep him. He made the perfect argument. He appealed to Anthony's like emotions about, hey, the 2 of us, we made a final 2 together, day 2. Like, do not cut me now. Adam is still here. Yes, I have won a lot of competitions, but you're going to need me because you haven't won anything, Anthony. Up until that point, Anthony had not won shit. Okay, so it's like, do you really want to go to the end with Adam? Do you think that he's going to take you, or do you think he's going to take Mark? Because we all know that Mark is the one that we're all going to drag to the end. Not me and you, though, because we're taking each other, right? And then he shows him that game board where he was memorizing all of the days made out of cereal and like Chex Mix and stuff. And he's like, listen, I know the days. It's all in my head. I can win these comps. We can get to the end together, brother.
He was
Please,
crying.
I need you, Poppy. Like, it was so good. Like
it was Dane's funeral. I mean, it wasn't the same thing, but it was his final plea in like the most passionate way. We're talking about Anthony Douglas here. Anthony Douglas can't be convinced of much. That's not something that he doesn't want to do. Like to sway Dougie on something that in the long run didn't make sense for him, just in the sense that he loses to Dane in the final 2. And if there was something that he could see that ahead of time, then it's like, all right, well, let me take the chance that I end up in the final 2 with anybody else that I can beat other than Dane. But that plea that Amon just laid out, it's just, he did it. In very impressive fashion.
I actually have some kind of like interesting info about that. I mean, it's hearsay, so bear that in mind. But Dougie actually like talked to me about that moment. And if I'm remembering correctly, what Dougie told me, he said that it was the way it was edited was that like Dougie was going to vote him out and Dane convinced him. Dougie said what it was more like was like he was always keeping Dane, but like Dane was like kind of feeling a little insecure. So he just wanted to do a big pitch to be like, yo, we're good, right? And not saying it wasn't a good pitch. Like that's an excellent pitch there. Like you could take notes on that pitch. But yeah, the way Dougie framed it wasn't so much convincing him. Like he was going to do it anyway.
Interesting.
So that's so also, like, I mean, I guess that does take some of the what's the word? I can't think of the speed. I guess like maybe it makes it a little less cool.
Sure.
But like, I mean, it's still a good pitch.
I mean, I can understand
sometimes
where
it's like you never know too. Like maybe something could have happened because he didn't do that pitch. Like things could have gone worse.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it helped. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can see where Dougie might have felt like, just if we're taking him for his word at that, because I don't remember exactly. I remember feeling like Dougie was going to get rid of Anthony. Was going to get rid of Dane. But if there was any real thought before this pitch of let me keep Dane, it probably came from feeling like, yeah, him and Dane were the closest and probably would take each other to the end. Whereas maybe him and Adam had that, but he did not have that same connection with Mark. And who knew what Kai was going to do in that final 5, not somebody that Anthony had the best relationship throughout the game, even though they had a very interesting relationship, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure like Dougie was definitely like Dane was his guy. Like I remember like we were hanging out in Newfoundland and they were kind of reminiscing a bit. And Dougie was like, "Oh, like would you have taken me to the end?" So yeah, I don't think like with Dane clearly they had like an agreement there.
No.
And like that's not that's just the final 5. I mean that's like a crazy impressive move, but just the whole season, like we had. The whole story is all of these pretty boys that had their +1s. Dane had like a +3 with Esty and Kiki and Damien that like all felt good with him throughout the game. And even like everybody else's +1s, he had decent relationships with. He wasn't the one that was like at odds with Sam. That was Anthony. He wasn't. He didn't have any major issues with Corey. I don't think Corey was Dougie's +1. So he just. The whole game. I mean, it was hard to not be impressed. And yes, Big Brother Canada 7, I think Amon was the one that said this, is boring. It is really boring to watch just a couple people dominate through the game. But when you look at it from the perspective of just watching people be really good at Big Brother, that's what you have.
Yeah, the Pretty Boys, like they play an amazing game. But yeah, it's my least favorite Big Brother Canada season just because I think it was like the 3rd or 4th week I was watching. I was like, wait, like one of the Pretty Boys is winning. Like no matter who wins HOH, none of them are going up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dane versus Summer.
Well, like you said, it's wintertime. So I'm gonna have to go with Dane on this one. I'm sorry, Summer. We all love Summer. She's great. But it's just hard to compete with the best Big Brother Canada winner. It's just kind of hard to do that.
Yeah,
I feel bad because like I know Summer and like I do think she's underrated, but she's against Dane. So sorry, Summer. I think you're great. I think you played a good game, but you're up against Dane, and yeah, I think Dane's the best winner. So yeah, what can you do? Got to vote for Dane.
I'll also be voting for Dane. And it's funny though, because if Goose did vote for Summer, Summer would have won. Summer has a patron vote.
Oh, I hope she doesn't watch this. She'll kill me.
Drake, I believe, voted for Summer, and nobody voted for Dane, which just kind of goes back to this whole like people weren't putting votes on people that should have been a lock to go through. But in a moment like that, where it almost could have been,
that could have been close.
Ultimately, 3-1 for Dane to go through over Summer. But the second Dane's the top. I knew that was happening. So.
Yeah, even if Dane would have gone home, he would have won the battle back instantly.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I mean, we've had plenty. We've had a handful of winners lose their matchup. If one of the best winners lost their matchup, it would have.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Why?
I remember the episode where Paris almost went because of the patron vote. That was nuts.
Yeah, because Amon too. He voted that way too.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Patrons are allowed to pop in here and cause some chaos if they have their moment in time. But Amon, well, that's just always.
I do it again.
All right, well, let's get into the final matchup here today. We'll see if Amon is going to do it again. Crazy wheel so far.
Tola.
Oh,
Claudia.
Back to BBCAN 11 here. And we're going to talk about Claudia, the runner-up. It's funny now that Goose has had both of the final two from that season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ty,
That's true.
Ty last time, Claudia this time. Ty went through. Let's see if Claudia goes through. One of the girly pops.
the girly pop.
Oh, gosh.
But also
could have
so
been
frustrating. Oh, so frustrating.
Pain. The psych damage is coming back. You know when you said girly pops? It's like, Oof.
All right. Do we have notes?
We do. Claudia, she won some competitions and did a good job insulating herself with several groups of players. She'd been a solid strategist and social gamer. She had a huge target in front of her for a lot of the game in Ty. She also tried to target him at times and wasn't able to do so. Those are the notes.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. I should give her the credit to say yes, that's true. Because what was it? The triple eviction? It was the triple eviction that she put Ty on the block. And
it was a double. It was a double.
It was just a double. Yeah, it was a double that ultimately. That's the one that Shania goes out at.
Yeah, because she didn't put up Ty.
Right. Oh wait, she didn't put up Ty? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, because he won. Yeah. If she would have put him up, he would have won the veto, taken himself out.
Yes.
She wouldn't have been. Her hand wouldn't have been forced. She had no choice.
Right. But there were other times, to go back to the point that Amon was reading, there were times that she was willing and able or whatever to let him go. It obviously never goes through. And by the time we get to the end of the game, it's like, well, the person she's the most loyal to and, is giving that loyalty back was Ty. So she goes to the end with him. I was so holding out hope because I just wasn't rooting for Ty, that somehow she was going to get the votes, even though she frustrated me so much. But just adding to the many reasons why BBCAN 11 had frustrating moments. Anyway,
I remember watching it. Like that was the one point in season 11 where I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. Cause like, I feel like the way I was like, from what I was seeing, it was like, yeah, they're together, but they're not really. Then this double eviction's happening. And all of a sudden it's like, they just seem like really good again. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the last I saw, they weren't that good. It's like, what happened? Like off screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Ty must have been like a perfect gentleman for like a solid 24 hours or something. I don't know. Because it really seemed like it went from one to the other. They were so interesting to watch. Like it was like watching like a gothic novel, like something like Wuthering Heights or Jane Eyre. It was really wild watching those two, I tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I think that by and large, Claudia, like pivoting, it's the age-old saying, if you can't beat him, join him, right? Like I think pivoting to working with Ty, by and large, was good for her game because it allowed her to make it through that mid-game with him in front of her. But she got very meshed in with the showmance of it all. And on top of that, Ty was extremely emotionally manipulative. To the point where you're getting your hand forced into voting out Shania, who you should have stayed loyal to. Like it doesn't make much sense.
Well, she had no other option.
She had no other option, but she could have.
She makes the wrong move in the nominations too. Like there was a way to not put them in this position, but you wanted to try to play the risky version of it all.
Right.
Say Ty's not gonna, go against my girls, and he specifically does in such a way to take away your numbers and make you cry to her face while you have to put her up.
All the alarm bells are ringing for all of us, and we're not even watching the feeds, and we could see that shit coming a mile away.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly like my favorite moment of the season. That was just such raw, like insane, television.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best like double evictions in Big Brother Canada, honestly. There's probably the one where Netta goes. Is there a third really good one I'm forgetting?
Oh, I'm sure.
Those are the two that come to mind.
I mean, triples and doubles in BBCAN were generally like the most exciting. Just like doubles in BBUS can be some of the most exciting nights. BBCAN, even though the triples screwed a lot of people over, still was an exciting episode of television. Just and then when she brings Ty to the end, it's just like, come on. But I also understood like she couldn't have beat Daniel C either. She knew he had the social game and had the votes. So her best bet was that hopefully people hated Ty, and so she got votes. But even Renee doesn't vote for her because people were so annoyed that she was just
handing the game over.
Yeah. I'm really glad that the jury gave him the win because, like, one, personally, I think he deserved it between the two. But also, it's like I feel like if you have a player like that and you bring them to the end, you deserve to lose. Like, he was such a dominant force. Like, that's not a player you should bring to the end. That's a player who should win their way because they have no other option. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think she was really betting on people still having a bad taste in their mouths with Ty, especially with the petulant behavior that he had during the Hope Secret Note week. I think that she just wanted people to remember that part of him. But I think the better way to go about it is to just take Daniel. Yes, it's still a bit of an uphill battle for you, but you at least get to say, I took Ty out. I didn't want to play his game. This is what separates me from him. I rode his coattails, and then when I was done with him, I threw him away. Like, that's your Girly Pops moment right there. But it should have been the girls and the gays together.
Yeah, Girly Pops could have ran the table. Girly Pops could have ran the table.
Yeah, I do think she. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go. Mine's quick. I'll just say like two. I've like met Ty in person. Like that guy, he's got a lot of charm. He's got a heart of gold. So it's like surely she was seeing the full 3-dimensional Ty. It wasn't like us just seeing the edited show and then the dailies. She saw the full 3-dimensional. And she like banked on the maybe they'll be that pissed at him. Like not the best strategic decision.
Yeah, she loses both final 3s, I'm guessing, or both final 2s that she had the option for. I think she loses to Daniel C. She obviously loses to Ty. So that just tells you that the game that you played up until that point was not good enough if you're the third likeliest winner of the final 3. But at least I think she might get more than one vote if she cuts Ty from anybody. I mean, I don't know if Ty votes for her, if he's like pissed off or not at that point, but just to like make the move that everyone was begging you to make at that point. It's like you have 3 HOHs, a veto. You have a probably better resume than Daniel has, even though he has more friends, which is why I still feel like, his friendships would carry the day for him to win. But the season's so frustrating. Have I said that enough?
Yeah.
I like it, but I do get your sense of frustration. I think the second half of season 11, personally, I like it, but I definitely understand that people aren't fans of it.
Well, it's even more frustrating for me, who gets frustrated by the season. The season's doing really well here on the bracket. Claudia's not the last player to come up. Who is? They're still here.
Koozie?
Koozie. That's a big name to be the last name for a season.
Yeah, that is a big name.
Good old Koozie.
Yeah, Koozie hasn't come up yet, but just like, why are there so many players from this season that have won their matchups? 8? Come on. I'm sorry, Claudia, but I'm rooting against you here. But I'll be fair. Let's see.
I mean, there's a lot of big names left. I think
who's the final player today? I'm so scared.
Oh.
Well, another season had a lot of good luck so far. Big Brother Canada 2's Adele. I gotta say, every episode that Ika Wong doesn't come up, I go to bed anxious. Not actually, but
the last matchup will be Will and Ika.
It's
getting scary. It's getting to that point though.
I don't know that she's safe in the next round already. Come on, that's fine. All right, interesting matchup here: Adele versus Claudia.
This one's interesting because I feel like overall, I feel like Claudia has the better overall baseline, but then she has like some key, like really bad moves that you can point to. And I feel like for me personally, that sort of thing weighs heavily if you have like a really bad move or two. Like I can't think of a single Adele move that was like, that was an absolutely terrible move. I mean, you could maybe argue you should have tried to split up John and Netta instead of targeting the Gremlins. But I mean, it's not like that was a guaranteed bad move. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he's a bit of a passive player. So there's not a ton of moves to point to. But Amon, do we have notes?
We do. Adele began the game as his allies Kyle, Paul, and Ika all were evicted in a row. They were evicted in a row. Adele joined the dominant The Sloppy Seconds Alliance. Adele was able to stay safe as the alliance worked on disassembling the remaining members of the first 5. After Adele won HOH in week 8, despite his rivalry with Sabrina, he targeted Rochelle, who was the bigger physical threat. Despite Adele's closest ally, John, winning HOH in week 9, Netta was able to get into his ear and convince him the best plan of action would be to target Adele. He was evicted by a vote of 2-0.
That's the story. Adele was a very, like, I feel like, I don't know, notable, is that the right word? Or just like standout type of character.
Like
kind
Wake
of
Up
just for,
Canada
like,
classic.
Yeah, just kind of for the personality. Little guy, big personality.
Yeah,
I feel
sure.
like he's very like like in Super Mario, like the Mario stats. I feel like that's him. Like he's not like super high anywhere, but he's not super low anywhere either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
got
mean,
some
he
good
goes all the
character
way to
moments,
fifth
has some good
place,
gameplay. Yeah.
but like,
He can
I don't know if
clearly
I
deal-
see him
sorry,
as
keep
a
cutting
top
off.
winner contender.
I say that again,
Yeah,
Matt.
I don't know if I see him as a top winner contender. Like if he were to get there, I don't know what final twos he's really crushing at the end of the game. I guess like you could argue that anybody beats Sabrina, but him and Sabrina had such an interesting relationship that was never going to be the final two. I don't think.
They walked so Tola and Bailey could run. There's some dynamics there. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I don't think he's bad, but when I think like, oh, a final two with Adele, like it's not. Yeah, he's interesting. He's very middle. Which I mean, it's better to be middle than like bad, But
I mean, when he gets evicted by John and Netta, it's because he's next to Sabrina and he's a bigger threat than her. Like he has more social connections, just generally seen as more likable. Sabrina, unfortunately for her, was not seen as the strongest player. Was pretty cemented in her GOAT status from, I don't know, halfway through the jury phase, the beginning of the jury phase. Who knows exactly when that clicked in for them, but. You didn't want to sit at the end against Adele, even though he didn't have the most impressive game resume. He was just likable.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that him sort of like having to survive and scrap and claw from the bottom up definitely it shows great social adaptability. It shows that he's able to, mesh himself well with anybody. And I think, like, didn't he fake having a power one week?
Oh, he might have. That
Can't
rings a
recall.
bell. Did he?
It was like, oh my God, I have to look it up. It was some type of like he faked that he had like some kind of like diamond power Evito or something.
I think you're right.
Spook the first five.
Hmm.
But regardless of that, like infiltrating into the Sloppy Seconds Alliance and everything, like that, that shows versatility, and it shows that he was willing to like make deals with the devil to get himself a little further. I think maybe like the miscalculation is in the end there. It's like maybe you don't need to be as fiercely loyal to John, who already has Netta in his corner. You were never going to break that duo up. Just go after the dysfunctional, like try to get in good with the dysfunctional duo in Rochelle and Sabrina. Stay with them because they're weaker and take out John or Netta. That is what wins you the game. Yes, there's still Heather there to contend with, but like I think that's a winning game for him. But he just chose the wrong duo to side with in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I almost just kind of want to get straight to the matchup because I don't know that I have a whole lot else to say about Adele. I mean, unless anybody else does, but
I've got a few little things. I'm just thinking he's got a
please.
bit of everything. Like clearly he has some good character moments. His Wake Up Canada. We've seen he can play from the bottom and the top. That's good. His social game's clearly good. He was a likable guy. Strategic. I mean, he's able to get into the dominant alliance after being at the bottom. And his HOH, like, well, it's probably the wrong move. Like, it wasn't the worst. And so, like, I feel like I feel like his probably weakest thing is maybe his strategy, but like, it's clearly there's enough there. And even in terms of comps, he has that moment where he completely breaks the HOH that he wins. Like, he doesn't even like do the like puzzle clue, whatever. He just figures out how to like cheese it, so he wins it. So he's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Like I think Aman said, or one of you guys said, not using that HOH to break up John and Netta is tough, but
yeah,
I guess I mean, to an extent understand that they had kind of taken him in after he loses all the rest of his allies and he's looking for more people to work with, or literally anybody to work with. Like he finds a new group, it's stronger players, that people that aren't getting evicted back to back. So I can understand the impulse to stick by them, and maybe he just didn't see as clearly how good they were behind the scenes. Like they didn't have those like crazy good game talks. I think with him, my memory, I feel like that was just like the two of them talking, and that's where we knew how good they were together and as individual players. But
I found it. Okay, he successfully manipulated about his buzzworthy power after winning the buzzworthy task. But leaking false information and holding up a simple piece of paper as if it were a game-changing advantage, he paralyzed the first 5 alliance. They were so afraid of his power that they refused to nominate him, allowing him to survive long enough for the house dynamics to flip in his favor during Canada's HOH week. So
that's some clever shit. You gotta give him points for that.
It worked. He bluffed and it worked. So
I guess that would be like probably his little bit of strategic you can throw in. So he's got a little bit of everything. He's Super Mario.
The reason why I said I want to get to the matchup is just because like I feel like I can see the vision of what the Adele gameplay is versus, you know, Claudia, who played solidly in finding her spot in the game and within the alliance she had and making the moves that she made to like take Kuzi out and kind of going back and forth. Like, again, she was at times willing to get rid of Tai. It ultimately doesn't end up working. And then at the end of the game, she just finds herself not in the best spot to win, but she still got there. The connections that she had still got her to the end of the game, which is not anything to sneeze at, you know, from where I'm sitting, but she can't, I'm torn. I'm really torn.
Me too.
Originally, I was thinking Claudia, but the more I think about it, I think I'm Team Adele just because, like, he doesn't like. Okay, he has the go after John and Netta thing, but I feel like that's less egregious than like not putting up Tai and then Tai gets out Shanae and then the even worse taking Tai to the end.
Yeah, I mean
I think,
the HOH of that double eviction was it's almost like hard to forgive. Like that's a huge misread on. Like you could go into the end game with your 2 closest allies, Renee and Shania, and Tai, who is still in the game, if he wins the veto. Worst case scenario for you is that Tai is evicted there, which is a good scenario because he's a big player that you already wanted out of the house.
Like, I mean, let's say she puts him up. He's probably pissed, but if she does some damage control and is like, oh, don't worry, we won't vote you out. We have the votes. Like, and I mean, he was kind of like, he didn't have a whole lot of options also. Like, it was mainly his comp wins. It's not like I think he could have like totally burned that bridge. And if she does that, it's like Shania stays. I mean, hindsight's 2020, but still, shit off.
Because he had good relationships with Daniel and Anika, but it wasn't as solid as it was until he used the veto on, I think it was Anika, to take her off and then force Claudia's hand.
Yeah.
So, Aman, have you gotten anywhere in the thought process? Thinking hard over there.
This one's hard because, like, obviously the better placement goes to Claudia, but it's not like Adele is super far behind. And I'm just thinking about like what skill set you really need to do well in almost any season. And I think that they both fare pretty well. There's something really cool though about Adele's like creativity when it came to like lying and bluffing and infiltrating the sloppy seconds. Like that takes a lot of tenacity when you just keep losing everybody in the house. Whereas with Claudia, like she manufactured her own alliance's downfall half the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, to me, I really want to give it to Adele, but I'm also like, am I being a little unfair to Claudia? It's also kind of harder because we don't get to really see so much because the digital dailies.
One thing I'm thinking of all of a sudden, I gotta ask Daniel C next time I talk to him. I wonder who he would have taken to the he won the final HOP.
Yeah.
Okay,
I feel like he definitely takes. I think he takes Claudia.
I think he would. He's a pretty smart player. So
the only problem, I guess, in that line is like he had a good relationship with Tai, but I think everybody was aware at what a good game Tai had played just by force and competition. So nobody would have wanted to sit next to him at the end, except for Claudia, who was, 2 bad options. So I don't think Daniel would have viewed it as 2 bad options. I think he would have been fine or comfortable against Claudia. Like just say, you played your good social game. You laid low where you needed to. You made the right relationships. You stuck by, the group that targeted Kuzi, who was going to be a big threat in your way. So I don't know. I think I know my vote and nobody else seems confident. So I'll throw it out there. I think I'm going to go with Adele here. I think Claudia obviously made it deeper into the game just by a couple of spots, but again just finds herself in like a unwinnable position. Like she couldn't win the game. I do very often go back to that. Like, yeah, it's good to get to the end, but if you never have a chance to win the game, I mean, we pretty recently talked about like your Todrick Halls, and by no means did they play similar games, but just a recent example of someone we've talked about that it's like, okay, great, dominate, get to the end. That's still some pretty good skills. But if you can't win Big Brother, if you can't get to the end of the game and know that there's a world where you can get the jury votes, which is the world that she worked herself into, but we are comparing her against someone who had good social relationships. And if he somehow gets to the end, which it's harder to see him doing so because he's not as dominant of a force as Claudia was, but there's still a world that I can see him getting the votes, makes me have to give it to Adele. So Goose, do you feel good, or anyone?
Yeah, I think I'm going to vote for Adele too. And like the thing is, it's like while she was kind of screwed no matter what she picked, like I think she definitely had a better shot at getting the jury votes. And I feel like too, it's like if in the scenario where like they don't vote for a tie because they're pissed at them, that would have been kind of like this, they're a bad jury.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously sometimes you can take things too far. So like I get that like idea, but I just feel like it's such a bad mistake. And like Adele, we don't have anything else. She has the Shania one too. So yeah, I feel like sure he should have broken up John and Netta, but she has 2 clear points, and like I feel like he just has a really good baseline.
He's not
like,
perfect.
The
by
girly
any
pops
means.
could have ran the table, and like
She fumbled
kind
it.
of did that herself. So yeah, I'll vote for Adele too.
He's not perfect by any means. I also like keep flashing back to the him and Sabrina fights where it's like, what are you doing? Like, I get that they got under each other's skin in a big way, but like that's not good gameplay, I guess. So I should take points away there. But
he does have a few messy points, and then he lied about the whole like, who did he lie on about pinning religion against him?
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Him and Kyle were close. Was that Paul?
No, because Paul was the one that was lying. I forget who it was.
Well, it wasn't Kyle. No, Kyle was.
No, because Kyle was his friend. I forget who it was. But yeah, he definitely has an air for the dramatics at times. I think maybe like spending a lot of time with like Ica maybe rubbed off on him a little bit.
I think it was his speech when he nominated Sabrina. I think he said something about her using religion against him. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's when it was.
That sounds.
They did have a lot of beef, as mentioned. So.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think he really wanted to show John and Netta that like, I'm in this with you guys. Like, we're gonna run this to the end, and I think he may have overdid it a little bit, but yeah. I also will be voting for Adele here. I think it's hard. It's hard with not really knowing the full extent of Claudia's game. I think that she played a fairly decent game. I think that she fumbled her end game massively, which sucks. Because I think there's still a world in which she wins. I think, yes, I agree that there's an uphill battle with Daniel C, but I think that there's still a fighting chance there. Whereas with Ty, like that was never going to go your way. And with Adele, like, yes, the beginning of his game was horrendous with the people dropping like flies around him. But the one thing about that is like he was never the one that dropped. He was a fly that kept on flying, and then he clawed himself back up to the top. So I think that just shows like that he's fairly skilled at a game like this.
I like the fly that kept on flying. That's fun.
Yeah, I feel good about my vote, but I totally forgot about his speech, and I just want to add that I do think that was a bad move on his part. But I mean, I don't think that's like the level of like Shania going home on your HOH.
Yeah.
All I know is that a Big Brother 2 rewatch is pretty imminent for me before the next round, because Adele is now the 10th player to go through from Big Brother Canada 2. Claudia
that's crazy.
Is losing this one. By the way, it's also a 4-0 vote. There was a patron vote on Adele, and that came from Julian. So
it wouldn't have mattered.
Didn't matter. If only one of us needed to do the vote, but it's okay. Well, let's recap what we did here today. We had from Big Brother Canada 2 just now, Adele goes through to the next round, joining many of his castmates in favor of Claudia, the runner-up of Big Brother Canada 11. Unfortunately, not going to see round 2 We also had Big Brother Canada 7 winner Dane go through to the next round in favor of Summer from BBCAN10. A big Big Brother Canada episode here today because we also had Gary, Glitter Gary, go through to the next round. 2-time BBCAN player, almost a winner, and he advances over the one BBUS player pulled today in BB26's Brooklyn. So, Goose, those are the results. I hope you had worthwhile picks for your liking.
Definitely. I think this one was more thought-provoking than last time. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That last matchup, I mean, like I like
that was a real
when
thinker.
I really have to sit here and think about it. And it's not like, oh, Dane came up, okay, we know he's going through. Like, I don't know who the hell is better. That's the fun.
Yeah, I really had to think about that one. Yeah, that was fun.
So there we go. Goose, anywhere that you would like people to find you online, if at all?
Yeah, sure. I got a Goose Elijah on Instagram. Twitter's Elijah the Goose. Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky's Goose Elijah. It's either Goose Elijah or Elijah the Goose. Oh, and I have a collection of haiku out now. So if you like haiku, you should definitely check out Feeling Waves. It's pretty good. I've gotten good reviews from people who've read it.
And people should find their way to watching Big Brother Canada 12 if they're like a Big Brother boy and haven't gotten a chance to see it. It is a fun season. Obviously, unfortunately, for Goose, it doesn't end, I guess, the way that dreams are made of, but it's a very notable end. No one else has gone out after what was it? Movie Night Massacre.
The Movie Night Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I mean, took them 4 times on the block and 12 votes overall and a twist to get me. So hey, at least I showed that I'm a fighter.
That's true. Goose, thank you so much for joining us behind the scenes. We've been trying to schedule this for a minute, so very glad it finally worked out. We got you here, and we'll talk to you again in round 2. So
sounds good. Thanks so much for having me again. It was a blast.
Yes.
I'm on Drag Race. Up and running.
Drag Race in full swing with just Beth and I this time around. Liana making an appearance here and there, but just me and Beth this time. So just check us out over there as we navigate through season 18 of Drag Race. I think it's been pretty good so far.
All right. Check me out on the Free Agents podcast, talking about this current season of The Traders and the challenge year round. Even when the challenge isn't on, we're talking about old school seasons of the show and lots more. But also check out everything that Amon and I are doing here on Patreon, patreon.com/The Diary Room. We have 2 more losers brackets to get to in this round, which will then lead to the ultimate losers bracket, where all of the losers that have the biggest loser of each losers bracket will then face off to find the worst player in Big Brother history. So that will be a lot of fun coming up in no time. We also have 2 more proper battle back votes to go, which is going to then have 1 more before the end of the round. So lots of fun things happening on Patreon. Plus, we have a lot of fun ideas in the works for round 2 over on Patreon. So get in now and don't miss out on the end of round 1 fun. I will also say, if you have not done so already, please leave us a 5-star rating and review in especially the Apple Podcast feed. Who knows what the number is at by the time that this podcast comes out, but getting close to 100 would be really nice to cross that line. So we would really appreciate that, especially if you're looking for a completely free way to support the podcast. Subscribe, leave a comment, all that stuff to just engage with the content and allow us to have those numbers be a little bit boosted so more people can find us and we can keep the party going into round 2. So that's what we have going on around here. Again, patreon.com/The Diary Room. Make sure you're checking out Goose on all social media. Let him know what you thought of today's matchups and anything else. So I think that's it, right, Amon? We're good.
That should be it.
Cool. 5 episodes to go left in round 1.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Our thanks to Goose of BBCAN12. And until next time, guys, please go to the diary room.